In second step, we would talk about mastering the fundamentals. But before I go into the tips and techniques on how you can learn better and faster, I'd like to share with you a very interesting story of Avinash Agarwal. Avinash Agarwal was a student of our All India Test Series. He was a student from Patiala. He topped CBSE PMT while he was studying in class 12th. We were doing a similar kind of a counseling workshop in Delhi, which was sponsored by HT Horizons, and one of the students asked Avinash Agarwal a question. Ashish, what are the kind of books you study and how many hours do you study? How many hours you study every day? Ashish said, since I prepared for CBSE PMT while I was studying in class 12th, so I do not have much time. I am able to devote 3 to 4 hours of study every day. But when I say 3 to 4 hours, I mean 3 to 4 hours. जब मैं 3 से 4 घंटे पढ़ता हूं तो मुझे नहीं पता चलता कि मेरे आजू बाजू मेरे लेफ्ट में क्या हो रहा है, मेरे राइट में क्या हो रहा है. मुझे आजू बाजू की कहीं की भी सुध नहीं होती. पर जैसे ही हम पढ़ने बैठते हैं, the moment we start studying, even the ticking noise of a clock seems as if somebody is hammering our hand. Why does it happen to us? What do you think is the problem? The problem, most of us think that this is a concentration related problem. Most of us think that my concentration power is weak. Most of us think कि भैया तुम्हारी concentration power weak है, तुम्हारी गाड़ी ऐसे रुक रुक के ही चलेगी, इसलिए आप adjust कीजिए, आपकी पढ़ाई ऐसे ही चल सकती है. But believe me friends, this is not at all a concentration related problem. If my concentration power was weak, I should not have been able to concentrate when I'm watching a movie or when I'm watching a cricket match. When I'm watching a movie, I don't know what happens left and right. But the moment I start solving problems of physics, the voice of the clock start becoming a problem. So what I'm trying to say is that this is not at all a concentration related problem. This is a typical problem related to what to study, how to study, and when to study. This is more in subjects which are less interesting or which are difficult, less in subjects which are easy to understand or which we enjoy. So in this second step, we would talk about mastering the fundamentals. In mastering the fundamentals, there are a couple of things which are very important. The first and the most important thing is focus on fundamental, is having a focused approach. Since most of the competitive examinations are based on fundamentals, so it is very important for us to focus on fundamentals. This is the way, this is also the place wherein most of the students go wrong. I see that most of the students use 5 to 6 books of a subject. In most of the books, if you would see, 80-90% of the problems are same. So if you are doing 5 to 6 books and you are not even able to complete any one of them, you are leaving some part of the syllabus. In fact, what we advise to students is that rather than following 5 to 6 books, follow 1 or 2 books and try to complete them thoroughly, try to revise them thoroughly. Remember, for you to achieve success in exams, there are 2 things which are important. One is what to study, and second thing which is more important than the first thing is what not to study. Usually in my seminar, I ask students, what are the kind of books you study for organic chemistry? You would be surprised, most of the students give me an answer, Morrison and Boyd, Solomon, Carey, Wade. You would be surprised, all these are books which are meant for graduate and postgraduate studies in United States of America. Our students are studying these books to prepare for IIT, JEE and other competitive examinations. These are not the books which every student can understand. So the moment we get into this scoop of glorified books or foreign books, I feel that we lose our focused approach. In fact, what we advise is that the students should focus on basic concepts, should focus on periodic revision. Our products, enriched series of products have been designed keeping this in mind. Another thing in learning the fundamentals is that learning always happens in jump. And for that jump to happen, for the initial few days, input is very high, output is low, and then suddenly you see that the output increases. If I was to explain you in simple words, let us understand this with the help of a simple example. जब आप साइकिल चलाना सीख रहे हैं, पहले दिन साइकिल चलाए गिर गए, दूसरे दिन साइकिल चलाए गिर गए, तीसरे दिन साइकिल चलाए गिर गए, चौथे दिन आपने साइकिल चला लिया. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि सारी लर्निंग आपके चौथे दिन में हुई है. इसका मतलब ये हुआ है कि 3 दिन के बाद अचानक जंप आया. शुरू के 3 दिन में इनपुट बहुत ज्यादा था, आउटपुट कम था. 3 दिन के बाद जंप आया और एकदम इनपुट उतना ही रहा और आउटपुट बढ़ गया. Similar kind of thing applies whenever you are learning physics, chemistry, maths, biology, or any other subject. So what I mean, the message I'm trying to put across is that whenever we are learning any new subject, we should be patient. We should not expect overnight results. We should keep on working without actually bothering about final results. Another thing in learning the fundamentals is that all subjects are equally important. When you are preparing for any kind of an examination, your objective is to acquire balanced competence in all test areas so as to maximize your score. Why I am emphasizing so much on this point is that because I see very often that most of the students say this is my favorite subject, physics is my favorite subject, और 50 से 60% टाइम फिजिक्स में लगा दिया, 30% 35% टाइम मैथ्स में लगा दिया और 5 या 10% टाइम रह जाता है केमिस्ट्री. The reason is that they score so poorly in chemistry that at times they are not even able to clear the cutoff. So in fact what is advised is that the student should devote equal time on all the subjects. We should realize and understand that my objective is to clear the competitive exams. My objective, I am not a PhD student of physics. My objective is not to do research in physics. I have to acquire more or less balanced competence in all the test areas so as to maximize my score. Another thing in learning the fundamentals is the importance of regular revision. Whenever we are learning anything, whenever we read anything, that information remains in our mind, remains in our short-term memory. In order to transform that information from short-term memory to long-term memory, regular revision is required. Ideally, what is suggested is that if you revise anything after 24 hours and another round of revision after 7 days, then most of the times that information is transformed from your short-term memory to long-term memory. In some cases, it is seen that an extra round of revision is required at the end of the month for students to transform information from short-term memory to long-term memory. Revision is one of the very, very important tools for you to master the fundamentals. Another thing in learning the fundamentals is that in step number 1 we talked about that the duration of one session should not be of more than 3 hours. Now whenever you are planning a session, you should study mix of subjects. For example, physics involves problem solving, whereas inorganic chemistry is a theoretical subject. Now in both the above subjects, different part of the brain is working. So if you are doing a mix of subject, a mix of problem solving plus theoretical study, then your learning capability would be much higher than compared to the case wherein you are doing complete 3 hours of problem solving or 3 hours of theoretical study. This brings us to step 2. In step 2, we talked about learning the fundamentals. Some of the key points which we discussed were focus on fundamentals, learning always happens in jump, equal importance to all the subjects, focus on regular revision, a mix of different subjects while planning a session.